Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? Ajibada Gemcho at Sub Queso. Today I'm going over how you can use Jyotish or astrology to improve your current relationship or your relationships in the future. Get into better relationships in the future. Okay. Now I'm fully aware that 90 to 95% of you guys are not going to like this advice and have probably not heard this advice before, right? But to me, this is the truth. This is the holy grail. This is what's actually going to work. Okay. That is, you have to use Jyotish, your Kundalini, or your charts to improve yourself, or to make yourself a better partner. Okay. It is not just waiting around for the right transits and the right dashas to come. Okay. And let me explain why. Your dashas, any placements, right? Signs, houses, planets, or any concoction of these variables are showing more at a material, at like an external level. They are showing correlations with certain outcomes, not necessarily, hey, these cause this. No, these are correlated with this, right? These are correlated with this because they cause something else deeper at a spiritual level, which is what you have to fix, right? And most people don't do that, so they just assume that this causes the outcome. But that's something you have to understand, right? Like, for example, if somebody's telling you, if you have this transit in the seventh house, or the seventh house dasha is starting, your relationships could improve or you could get into one or something. They're not wrong, right? But that's not the actual root thing. So, for example, if you flip it, I have this sixth house dasha starting, or I have this sixth house transit going on, and that's going to make it so that it'll be a lot harder. Again, they're not wrong, right? But you're not addressing the root cause, right? So, like, for example, here, right? If you have a sixth house dasha starting, or a sixth house transit starting, most likely you are going to be overthinking, right? And overthinking people do not get into relationships very easly, right? Think of when you were growing up, right? All the kids in school that were in relationships were probably not, like the strongest thinkers, right? They weren't the engineers or the doctors or something like that. They were, kids doing whatever, right? You guys kind of get what I mean here, okay? It's the root cause that needs to get addressed. I don't care if you have all your planets in your sixth house. There is hope for you. You can improve, okay? But you have to actually be able to, you have to actually be willing to do the work here, okay? So that being said, right, how can we use this to get into actual better relationships, right? Well, besides just waiting around, right? Let's just say, there's no more waiting around. I'm trying to do something now. Okay, there's two things you have to look at, okay? First is your chart as a whole, and second is your current, let's just call them your current and your upcoming Mahadasha, okay? Or if you're running like a really long Mahadasha, let's just say your current and your upcoming Antardasha, because sometimes Antardashas can be like 3 years plus, okay? That's like 6 years, okay? Both are important, but what you have to do is you have to understand, no matter what current Mahadasha you're running or current, combination of transits are going on in your chart, you have to realize that every single one of your placements in all your charts, from the D1 all the way down to D60, are bleeding out or playing out in some way in your life, right? They are operating. Now, we know, right, your decisions, your thoughts, everything are not just based off of your conscious. They are based off of your subconscious, right? The lower you go in the divisional charts, or technically the higher number divisional chart it is, like D60 would be the highest number, the more deeper you go into your subconscious. One could say or one could say or theorize that your D60 chart the reason why they give so much importance is because it addresses the deepest part of your subconscious. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to take a look at all your charts. Okay. And once you get a grasp on what they mean, I've made videos on this, but you can look at, everybody else who has videos on all these charts. You want to first address your best and your worst placements. Okay, your best placements are what you're bringing to the table. Okay, in your worst placements, in regards to stuff that has to do with relationships. But again, relationships are just a reflection of yourself. Okay, so if something's not working, you need to first figure out why things are not working. Like, nobody's gonna answer that for you, right? Like, if you, for example, are just way too much in your head, you're too scared, you're this, you're that, you're too picky. Okay, you have to figure that part out. Okay. Once you do that, you need to look at all your placements, right? Good and bad. Okay. And the good, you want to make sure you improve those as much as possible, right? These are your best traits. When people love to be with somebody special. Okay, or not love to be with somebody special. I mean, that's true, but this is like your shining star. These placements, your best placements, are like they make you literally special, unique, right? You want to improve those as much as possible and not waste those. Okay, there's millions of people out there that wish they had your placements unknowingly or knowingly. Okay, second part is your bad placements. You want to improve those as much as possible. Okay, for example, okay, let's say in the D9 you have Venus debilitated, right? I'm just making this up. Okay, if you have Venus debilitated, most likely nobody is ever good enough. It does not mean that you're not going to get any good partner. That's not what that means. It does not mean that. It means that in a general sense, nobody's going to be good enough, right? No, you could, right, in theory, have like 20 million options, and they could all be, great in their own way, right? There's probably not, they're probably all not horrible, all 20 million, but something's off about everybody. Everybody just gives you that little ick or something like that, okay? Now that you recognize this, you can work on this, okay? And I've made videos in the past on improving your relationships and things like that, right? But you need to kind of know where to start, right? And if you're wondering, oh, well, I kind of have a feeling these placements are bad. Like, I don't know exactly why they're bad. Okay, or the other way around. I don't know exactly how they're good. Just look at the chart. Understand the chart as a whole, how it's working. Understand the placement as a whole, as it's working, right? So that means, like, for example, what the planet in a particular sign or in a particular house, and then combine them. And then once you understand this, combine it with the actual chart it's representing. Okay, and that's how it's playing out. Each placement in all your charts, it's like a giant soup, and you're adding little tiny ingredients, okay? They all affect the dish. Okay, or it's like a car. Okay, you customize it a little bit here and there. They all kind of play into the vehicle, okay, and add its special touch, right? Just like all these placements add the touch to you, right? You want to know what are your cons, and you want to know what are your pros, and you want to add to it. Now, once you understand this, right, you need to ideally see, okay, if there are certain dashas or transits that are hindering you, let's just say you're starting a Mahadasha and it's not that great. It's like your sixth lord Mahadasha, it's a planet in your sixth house in your natal chart. Now you know certain areas where you can focus on that improvement, right? Just because you have certain bad placements doesn't mean the world's over, okay? That's the thing that you have to understand. You can fix it, but you actually have to work to fix it. And when I say fix it, it doesn't mean like, oh, I have Venus debilitated, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do this like quick 5-minute meditation every morning, and it's basically gonna pretend like, now it's exalted. Okay, no, that's not how this works. Okay, what you're doing is, I don't want to say a flaw, because you've been given that placement for a very certain spiritual reason, but let's just call it a flaw, right? You've been given certain flaws or certain benefits, right? Or certain pros. You've been given certain pros and cons in your chart. Just because you work on the cons or you address your cons doesn't make them go away. Okay? For example, let's just say you're very picky inside, right? Just because you are aware of that and kind of override that mentally and stuff doesn't mean it doesn't go away, right? And that's something you have to accept and work on, right? But there's nothing you can do about that, right? I mean, I guess you can wait until, for example, if you're running a planet's dasha like that, and then, just wait for it to go away. But the problem is sometimes you can't wait, and that energy is still always around. It's still always bleeding out. You're still always going to run the antardashas or pratyanta dashas of that planet. That transit is still going to always come around. Okay, that is not the best strategy all the time. Sometimes it's the best strategy. Okay, but a lot of the times it's not the best strategy. Okay, so just because it's not the best strategy doesn't mean that it's not a good strategy. Okay, so just be aware of that. We love to go to extremes. We always want the best of the best. Give me the best thing ever ever. Give me the best thing ever, okay? Forever. But that's not always how it works, okay? You have to, look at everything and kind of judge and gauge what you need to do at certain times appropriately, okay? So that's the end of this video. I'm at 12 minutes. I'll just stop there. Maybe I'll make a part 2. I feel like I could keep going forever on this. But if you have any questions or comments, as usual, feel free to let me know in the comment section or email. Until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.